What's up, Nitro Nation? Muggy Maniac in the Nitro Cave, getting down and busy, wrenching away. Looks like Big Brother, Mugen MBX TR7, Race Truggy, and Little Brother MBX 5R Race Buggy, but old school, with the 2018 and 19 flavor and love, are like hanging out. But I don't know what we got. A 28.8 modified RB mods Nova Rossi here that is like, I don't know, looks like it's sizing up Kratos, or Kratos is sizing this up. What does Kratos say right there? It says, "But if it is a fight you seek, you shall have one." Oh shit! He's like, bring it on. But you know, it looks like the modified Nova Rossi is like, you don't want none of this. Anyway, people, what's happening? Welcome all YouTubers, newbies, middies, oldie but goodies, old farts like me. In the Nitro Cave, doing some serious wrenching. Getting prepared to brap the MBX7 TR with the Pico. Look at that. Modified .28 7-port. Okay? Ready to rock and roll, man. It's next on deck. Just got finished with the as you guys seen. Still not finished with it, but 28.8 modified Nova Rossi and the Techno, which that'll be might be the combo that I keep. I like the Nova and the Techno, although the Techno hasn't got a taste of the Pico yet. So after it's done in the Mugen MBX Truggy here, the Pico is going in the Techno. And I don't know, I might run this the modified Nova Rossi 28.8 here in the buggy. The Mugen buggy has had one of these, but not modded. It had the stock one over here that, by the way, is happy to see you guys. And it was a blast, but I had 50,000 in the middle, and I think 20 in the front, 20 in the rear. Now this thing has 100 in the middle, and 50 in the front, and 50 in the rear. So maybe I might, eventually, one of these days, run the modified Rex in the Mugen. But for now, the Reds is going to get some more running, get more comfortable in the Mugen. More fuel needs to be run through that thing too. And that's a sick-ass .21 in it. The buggy and the Reds, modified Reds, R5 Team Edition, which is what that is, modded by RB Mods, works well in here. Just needs to be have more fuel run through it. And I need to get, I'm waiting for a new plug coming from Absolute Hobby. I want to run a hotter plug in here. The plug in here is not hot enough. These motors like to run really warm. So anyway, the wrenching that's going on here, we want to kind of show you a little bit of the Muggy Maniacs wrenching. I don't do a lot of videos on wrenching, as you guys know. I think the last one I did that was shocks, which is another part of your vehicles that's very important. By the way, shout out to a couple other brothers there, you know, Raja 111, snowing like crazy. over where you guys, all you guys back east, man. You guys really got some rough weather back there. Um, you know, and since nobody's able to bring any serious nitro running videos, I guess the Muggy Maniac's going to have to, you know, get busy. I'm trying to do as much as I can. It has been raining like cats and dogs here. It's supposed to rain all this week. But if it just clears up for one day, then I'm good to go to get out there. As long as it's not raining, I'm running. I don't care if it's muddy. I don't care if it's wet. Doesn't matter. As long as it's not raining, I'm going to run my shit, because I just don't know how people can go that are, I mean, especially a sick, I think the longest I've ever went without running one of my nitros was like a month. And I was so miserable, so unhappy. I mean, you could do all the wrenching you want, but if you're not running your shit, it's not the same, man. That's me. I don't know, maybe you guys that retire during the wintertime are different, or you're used to it or whatever. I could never get used to it. I don't see investing thousands of dollars in this and taking the winter off. I couldn't. Like I said, unless it's monsoon and blizzards and snow. Even in the snow, I would throw some spikes on my shit, and I've seen guys do that on pit skills, and I'd run my shit in the snow. And I've seen guys run E-words in the snow, and that's electric shit. If you can run E-word in the snow, there's no excuse why you can't wrap your shit in the snow. So, whatever. Anyway, shout out to Elite RC. I think I mentioned Raja 111. Shout out to my Nitro brother Raja. Shout out to Mr. Za. What's up with Mr. Za? He actually bought an E-word. That is so... I still can't believe it. Now, whether he just wanted it because of the truck body, his dad I think has one like that. I don't know. I don't care. I would never, and I will never buy an E-word rock crawler or not. To me, rock crawling, and I've watched it, and I know it's popular now, and it's boring. I don't know. If that does something for you, you know, I know it's very, you know, it takes skill to climb up the rocks, and the scales of the trucks, and the detail they get into those things, and the sounds they make, and it's like a real, it doesn't matter. An E-word is an E-word. Doesn't matter how you paint it, how you dress it up, what sounds you put, it's still an E-word. So, I don't know, maybe John just is, you know, needs to run something because of the weather. There's no drag racing going down right now. There's nothing. But like I said, the weather would never stop me. I don't care. I would run my shit. If I walked out front right now, and as long as it wasn't snowing and there was snow all over the place, I'd be getting a snow shovel, clearing out a little bit. I would just run my shit in the snow. Servos and all that shit, waterproof. Electronics, waterproof. I'd be running my shit. Especially a nitro. I'd run it in the snow. I don't care. But anyway, like I said, whatever floats your boat. To me, rock crawling is like Tetris. You know, it does take some skill. It does take, you know, because to climb over that shit and to, you know, to run those little obstacle courses. But that's how exciting it is. Tetris was never exciting to me. It was kind of cool to play, but yeah, that's just not my thing. Oh, when I'm gaming, man, I'm God of War gaming, people. That's the kind of gaming I like. You know, I'm not the Tetris gamer guy. I'm the God of War, the Resident Evil, the Zelda, you know, the action shit, you know, the Devil May Cry, you know, maybe some Call of Duty, some Halo. I mean, hey, if you're a Tetris guy, then I guess that's what rock crawling would be to that person or whatever. To me, that's the way that, like, that's the best analogy that I can give it to relate to that. And that's why I would never do rock crawling, no matter how cool it might look and seem, you know, whatever. Just that doesn't do nothing. Another shout out I wanted to give out is to Mr. UKRC Max guy. That guy always runs videos of other people's stuff and runs his mouth, but you never see him running shit. Well, he ran a video, if you see his last upload, of his 5T getting busy, and like, I don't know, 10, 20 seconds into it, he flipped his shit and he tore his shit up. But I commend the guy for running his shit. I mean, that sucks that he crashed it, and, you know, obviously he's got to he said it, you know, it gives him a good excuse to replace the chassis, which he wanted to do anyway. But hey, there's your excuse. I mean, he tore his shit up pretty good. Ripped the whole front end out, diff and everything. But anyway, at least I give him props. Credit due where credit's due. The guy ran his shit. Showed us a little bit, even though it was brief. Sad, you know, sucks that he crashed it, but the guy ran it, so, you know, thumbs up to that guy, man. And, you know, I told him, you know, in the comments, you know, we don't want to watch no E-word shit, because he runs E-word sometimes. I really don't care to watch the E-word stuff. The Fitzgerald shit that he does is cool. So anyway, enough of my babbling. Those are my shout-outs to my Nitro and Fitzgerald brothers out there. Now, the Techno is in the process. I got to get it finished tearing it down and putting it back together. I wanted to finish this today because, or tonight, because it's pretty late. I've done the front motor's torn apart, cleaned, the Novarossi, fuel tank clean, pipes clean, ready to go. I mean, as you can see, redid my clutch bell, good to go. So the motor's all ready to go back in. Actually, I'm sorry, that motor's, I cleaned it up and geared it and actually put the motor mounts for the Mugen. The Pico is what's going in this thing, and the Techno next. But I think I will continue to run the Novarossi through here later, but I want to run the Pico through it too. But anyway, tearing it down, putting it back together. Rear end's done. Center diff, I'm going to show you guys. I'm in the process of doing. I have 80,000 in it because I couldn't get 100 when I built this thing, or rebuilt it, I should say. But I'm going to put 100 in it now. I need a little bit more hookup in the center diff. The steering bearings all ready to go. The front end I have to, which doesn't take much time. But, you know, I was looking at this thing. I don't care. I mean, I did the John Bodegel, which I don't do that often. You know, hose it off. You know, marinate the thing with simple green, 70, 20, 50, whatever. You can use pure, depending how dirty it is. And silicone, marinated it in all the kind of silicone. And look at that. Rust. Telling you, man, it doesn't. I mean, obviously, if I changed stainless steel, I wouldn't have that. But still, that's why I don't do that often. I mean, I'm looking. I mean, look at my. These are the. I forgot what these are called, but these are for adjusting your ride height. I mean, look, they're all rusted. I mean, even my drive shafts. Can you guys see that in there? Look at that. And I siliconed and marinated it and everything. Look, there's still rust on my drive shafts. Like, hell no. I can't. That's why I knew I'm going to have to tear it apart, even though I did clean it up very well. I have to, you know, I ran a gallon of fuel, almost a gallon of fuel through this platform. Bash session, 3 bash sessions, 4 bash, whatever. It's time. If you don't think that periodically you just don't tear apart your vehicles, your truggy, buggies, muggies, whatever, I mean all the way down. Back down to what it was like if you got it in a kit or whatever. Every nut and bolt and go through it. You're crazy and you're the guy that'll get frustrated and quit when eventually your shit breaks and your shit binds up and certain things go wrong. If you don't maintenance your shit, especially on Nitro, what do you want? You know, if you got the money just to replace the shit when it gets rusty and when it breaks because you didn't clean it or whatever, then go ahead, just spend all your money and waste your money. I can think of other things to do with my money than to buy, you know, nuts and bolts or certain things that I could have just prevented that from whatever happened to it by just keeping it clean. And you wonder why your suspension doesn't, you know, function the way that it should. I mean, even guys that race, and those guys just raced. It's not like they're out there bashing in all these different conditions. They tear apart their shit sometimes in between heats. You know, like when they do a qualifier or after they're done at the end of the day, you know, running around on a track, they're tearing down their shit and putting it back together, man, because, you know, they want their shit to perform at maximum level. If you want your everything to perform at the top level that it should perform, and you're the type of person that won't accept less, that's how I am. If you're not, then disregard anything I'm going to show you or tell you. Probably not want to even watch my videos, because I just like to take care of my shit. If you want to take care of your shit, it doesn't take, you know, months to do it, weeks to do it. It's not a lot of work. Once you do it a few times, it just becomes easier and quicker. I can tear down my whole vehicle and put it back together within a matter of hours, if I needed to. I like to take my time, really, because I'm not in a rush, you know. But I don't like my shit to sit around. The longer you let your shit sit around, that's where you're going to get the rust buildup. I mean, look, I clean, like I said. Look at that. This is the outer drive diff cup that comes out of my center diff. I mean, can you guys see that? Look at all that rust on there. I was like, what the hell? And I clean, you know, without taking it apart, I cleaned this thing so thoroughly and blew out all the water and then siliconed it with, you know, cans of silicone, and still look. That's what you're going to get. So I would suggest, I don't know, it's up to you. Ran about a gallon of fuel, close to a gallon of fuel, 3 quarts to be exact, through the Techno with the different motors. And it's time to, you know, usually 2 to 3 bath sessions, depending how dirty it gets. Then I'll tear it apart. I mean, all the way down. Take apart the diffs, everything. I mean, when I opened up the diffs, they were pretty murky, pretty dark, chocolate. Obviously, I've cleaned them out somewhat now. So anyway, I wanted to show you my, this is the diff, center diff from a Techno, Truggy, NT, 48.3. Diffs are diffs. Not much different. The diff drive cups, that's what these are called. The diff drives, these variate. These are the better ones. The ones that are solid are heavier, not as strong. These are lighter, stronger. These are what come standard. But I mean, look, this is what it looked like before I cleaned it. This is before. This is one after. That's what it should look like. No rust on there. See any rust on that, baby? Any questions? Okay, here you go. Before. Before. There you go. I can see it better now. Look at that. Before. After. Wire wheel your shit. I suggest. If you don't got a Dremolo, sandpaper. Really low grit sandpaper. The black one. I forgot which one number this is. I think it's 500. Is that 500? 500 grade sandpaper. If you don't have a Dremolo, you can sand that out by hand. It's more work. But anyway, invest in a Dremolo. It's worth it, man. I use wire wheels. Look, this thing was brand new not too long ago. Look, this thing's beat up. Because I wire wheel a lot. I just don't like rust. I mean, if you like rust, then hey, each his own. Go for it. So anyway, I've taken the diff apart. One thing that I learned from, I think it's Ty Testament and Ryan Letts, when you initially, this is what, I have extra diffs. This thing came, I was fortunate, this platform, this Techno, the guy that had it, when I bought it from him, I got hooked up with extra center diff, extra front diff, and an extra rear diff. So I eventually want to set it up with different gearing to where if I want to change around my gearing on my diffs, they already have fluid in them, they're already ready to go. I don't have to, you know what I mean, take them apart and change the gear and all that. I can just pop them right in. I've got a whole set, so this is one of those sets that I haven't. I just opened it up because I didn't know if it had fluid in it, but obviously it doesn't. When you're running thick fluid like this, you know, give you an example. This had 80,000 in it. To get 80,000, once you get above 20,000, around 20,000 and up, when you go to change your diff oil, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get all that out of there. And you want to get every bit of it out of there and clean it really well, because obviously you don't want that dirt and grit and all that shit when you're going to put, you know, fresh diff oil in there. But anyway, what I learned is take 20 weight, 30 weight, whatever the lightest weight you have, or whatever, any kind of shock fluid. Pour it in your diff cups, okay? Roll it around, and what it'll do, it'll thin out that diff fluid, and it'll be easier to drain it. Now, what I use to drain my diff is, these are the caps that come on your spray, whatever spray you use, silicone. The diffs, either after you're done, will sit in there like that. Or, what's cool, because of those ridges, when you're draining it, you just set this in there like that, you know, and let it sit for a while. It sits in there like that. This cap doesn't, but here's, this cap works better. These black ones that come on like brake cleaner spray, this thing just sits right on top like that. You know, and just let all of the shit drain out while you're cleaning everything else up. But anyway, I'm going to throw 100K in there. I've got this associated. I use associated, and sometimes when I can get it, it's hard to get sometimes, is Team Losi, TLR, diff fluid. I've used Traxxas. I really didn't like it. It's, you know, sometimes you got to use what you can get. But this is really good because it's made by Lucas Oils. For my bearings, I use Dan's Banana Lube. This stuff works really well. It's a bearing oil. You can get it on eBay. Just put in Dan's Lube or whatever. I use Tri-Flow. I know Adam Drake uses this a lot. And this is something that I've been using. It's hard to find, but if you can find it like in Bike Shop, it's called Bose Shield. It's by Boeing, which is, if you know, Boeing is, you know, aerospace company. It's called T9. This shit is exactly like 3-in-1, except the big difference is this waterproofs your shit. So if you use this on your bearings, it'll waterproof, keep the water out of your bearings, or whatever. It'll keep the water out of shit. It waterproofs. You can put it on electronics, whatever. It waterproofs. See, waterproof, lubrication, rust and corrosion protection. So it does the same as 3-in-1, except 3-in-1 doesn't waterproof nothing. But anyway, those are some of the lubes I use. One thing that I also do when the disc brakes, since your brakes are part of your center diff, what I do is I take the 500 grain sandpaper, scuff up your disc. So it'll give you a lot better bite. And even sometimes on discs you get a little bit of different types of deposits and builds up. It's just, I always do this, you know, I rub it around. Try to go in a circular motion because that's, you know, kind of the way the brakes work anyway. So, I mean, scratch them up really good. And what this does is this will help your brakes get a lot more bite out of your brake. There's my Techno Center brake assembly there. You know, and I showed you guys on the last video briefly a little bit, in that one video I did about my brakes. Now, this gives you a closer look. I mean, check these out, man. I mean, these brakes, this is state-of-the-art shit right here. The reason these things work so good and they're even, when you go to hit your brakes, see the springs in there? That springs are what causes for your brakes to be even. So, unlike most brakes, low C's, even my Mugans, not only are they not on the side, if you look at these brakes are they're like a side. They're a side brake. It's kind of crazy. I've never seen these. Are, as far as I know, the only vehicles that run brakes like this. Mugans, X-Rays, Low C, Kyosho's, Hot Bodies, all those top platforms don't have this type of brake system. Techno's the only one that has them that I know of anyway. And it's pretty cool because, like I said, my brakes are probably the most, like, my shit will stop on a dime and give you a nickel back. That's how good my brakes are. But the springs, if you can see those springs in there, that's what, so when the cam, it's called the cam, when that little cam hits the middle of this, bam, you're getting even braking. You're not getting the uneven braking like you do on normal brakes. Plus it's on the side too, so. But I love these brakes, and then your adjustments are cool because for the front brake, you can just turn these. You don't have to loosen up the little set screw. You can just turn them, I think it's counterclockwise to get more brake, clockwise to get less brake. So, I mean, you can just turn those, adjust these little deals right here, and either lessen or give you a little bit more. I mean, you can really dial in your brakes. My brakes are pretty dialed. I can just barely feather it, tap it, and my shit just, I mean, I've done end over ends on mine by hitting too much brake. But I'd rather have more brake than not enough brake. But anyway, so that's my brakes. That's what I do with the discs. I'll also do that on the actual brake pads. I'll run a little bit of a small piece of this paper, sandpaper through there, rough up the brake pads a little bit, just so your brakes get a lot more bite. I am also going from the stock gearing on here is a 46. It's pretty heavy. This is just the stock one. Teeth are starting to get a little, you can probably see how they're getting a little wear. They're kind of starting to flatten a little bit. So the teeth are becoming sharp. Like, these things are pretty jagged now. So I think it's about time to change them. I'm going to go with this one. This is a brand new one. This is a 48. So by going 2 teeth up on my spur, it's going to give me more bottom. Not that I don't have it with the Nova Rossi and the setup, the clutch, and everything I'm running right now on it. I've got a lot of bottom end. It's got plenty of top end, good mid. I just want more bottom end. I like that just bottom whap whap whap. Where you just when you just tap the trigger and it just whap, that thing just gets it, like gets busy quick. It's not about getting from point A to point B. Okay, contrary to belief, it is in nitro anyway. How quickly you get from point A to point B. That's the way I look at it. How quick you want to get from point A to point B. You want to get busy quick? Well, you're going to have to mess with certain things. Gearings, clutch, pipes, springs. That's a lot. But anyway, this gear is a lot lighter. You can see all the holes that are cut in it. I can feel the weight. It's got to be at least 20 grams lighter than this chunk here. So that's going to be changed. So we're putting 100 diff in the middle. Had 80. Was okay with 80. I just rather run 100. And we're changing the gearing. Let you know how that works out. So yeah, those are just little tips of how I do my diffs and kind of the upkeep. And remember, when this is all pertaining to next level modified motors. When you're modifying motors, you're going to want to check a lot of your shit on your platform that with stock motors you wouldn't have to go through as much. You got to remember, you're running a lot. You're running probably another 10,000 more RPMs than normal. I'm not sure the exact difference, but I know you're running a lot more power through your platform, through your drivetrain, through your diffs, through everything on your truggy or buggy or whatever. If you're not running modifieds, then you don't have to do this as much, but you do need to do it, depending on how much you run your shit. Like I said, I try to do it every third bass session, or every third time I run my shit. Or you can go by fuel. I mean, I ran almost a gallon of fuel through the Techno, which is probably almost 40 tanks of, we'll say 30 tanks of fuel through the Techno, maybe more, because I ran the .21 through it, and then now I ran the Novorossi through it, 5, 10, plus I broke in a couple, I've ran probably almost 40 tanks of fuel through the Techno, and haven't torn it down completely yet, so, yeah, it's time. So, anyway, I mean, obviously, you can clean as good as you can clean the John Bozel way. You can clean the RC Nerd. There's guys out there that are super good at cleaning. John does a great job. I do good work on cleaning, but you're still, if you don't tear your shit apart, that's what's sitting inside and waiting for you. Rust. So anyway, that's pretty much all I want to show you guys. A couple little things, little tips to help you guys out on your diffs. It is a lot of work. Diffs, are a lot of work, but it's so gratifying when you get it done and your diffs feel nice and fresh and feel like nice and smooth like butter. Your brakes are nice and just dialed in, and I don't know. It's like taking a shower for me. Sometimes you just feel, that's how I am on my vehicles. I feel for my dirty. You know what I mean? Once you take a shower, man, you feel refreshed. You feel revived, man. You're ready to take on the world, or whatever, I don't know. Maybe I'm just, like I said, a sick in the head nitro guy. But that's how I feel. I gotta keep my shit clean. I just feel dirty when my shit feels, my shit's dirty, I feel dirty. And I'm not the lazy person, but I can be. But if you are lazy and you don't do this and you don't maintain and tear apart your shit and do the things that I've shown you on my videos, and then your shit is, don't expect your shit to perform at the next level. Don't expect you to go race and win anything. Don't expect your shit to last a long time. Don't expect too much, okay? Because, you get exactly out of this what you put into it. Kind of like somebody told me this. If you put a Coke in a Coke machine is $1. If you put 99.9%, if you put 99 cents in there, you're not going to get a Coke. You can beat the machine to shit. You can turn it upside down. You're not going to get a Coke. You're not going to get a Coke out of that thing. Okay? It's $1. Okay? Same thing. And I'll leave you guys with that. You get what you put into it. If you put in 50%, that's what you're going to get in performance. That's what you're going to get on longevity, wear and tear on your shit, all of that. If you put in 100%, and I suggest you put in 110, into taking care and maintaining and cleaning and really keeping up on your shit, you will get that in performance, the way it handles, the way everything works, like it's supposed to. So, Anyway, that's pretty much all I got, people. Like I said, Pico is next on deck with the, it'll be the first time running it in the Mugen. MBX7 Truggy, ready to roll again. These Badlands just still aren't broken in. We need to get rid of it. When that rubber's gone, that's when these things are broken in. And then after that, we're going to run the Mugen again, buggy with the Reds. I'm waiting on the, like I said, the Reds plug. I got a number 4 turbo Reds plug coming. Should be here soon. So I don't know what's going on with these, with A Main, Absolute, Novorossis, Reds. Nobody has nothing. People are out of shit everywhere. I'm having trouble finding a number 5 plug. I don't, what the ones that I need. Talked to some guys at A Main, and they said during the wintertime, a lot of the companies are just kind of, they're not really doing a lot. They're not restocking a lot because they got new shit coming out. So whatever. That's not going to keep me from running my shit and hold me up from doing what I got to do. So anyway, we're going to get the Techno front end put back together. Well, actually, we got to tear it apart, clean it up really good, get rid of the rust that's on there, wire wheel some shit, check my shocks. Make sure you check your shocks. You don't need to change the oil if your shocks are rebounding the way they're supposed to. Quick tip, So anyway, that's pretty much all I got. I think I gave my shout outs, yeah. Shout out to also, you know, Ray at Track Day Hobbies. I love his hobby shop. I would live there, you know, if there's a house up above the place, that would be like living the dream right there. Living above your RC shop. I wish. That's my bucket list. But anyway, one last tip. If you want to get your shit without using a lot of expensive cleaners, because cleaners can get expensive, you know, dynamite, the shit that most guys use, or the dirt tracks have some stuff that shot. It's $10 a can, and that shit doesn't last forever. Simple green, a little bit of water in a cup, throw it in the microwave, glass cup, not plastic, or, you know, heat it up, maybe a minute or so. Drop your shit in there. It'll take all the grease off there. Take it out, air it out, spray the air off it, silicone it, bam, you're good to go. It's a lot quicker that way. But do what you want. That's just what works for me. Anyway, Monkey Maniac's out. So all you people that got all your shelf bitches and your shit in storage and on your shelves, just make sure you at least check every once in a while that your piston is bottom dead center, especially if it's going to be sitting for a while. Muggy. We got to get to the Muggy. I really haven't touched the Muggy in a few weeks now. So that thing's got to get put back together. And yeah, I'm going to put the stock 28.8 Rex Legend back in that puppy there, and get it back out and wrapping. I miss running that thing. So I love running my Muggy. It's been a minute. I'm just trying to get these motors, you know, get some decent amount of fuel around through them. So peace out, Muggy Maniac. We'll catch you at the next wrap session, which will be the Pico, modified Pico, .28 7 port. Peace out.